Tones of the passage. The passage tone is a very, very important point. Like every time you need to know that what is the attitude of the person who is speaking. Is it laudatory? Is it skeptical? Is it something which is dismissive, or is it critical, or it is this, or it is that? So when you are doing the tone of the passage, you must understand the writer's point of view. This is called the tone of the passage. You must have heard the word tone, the manner of speaking, the art of expressing, articulation, what is the writer's point of view, what is the writer's gestures, articulations. These are called tone of the passage, a question which is a prominent question for the CLAT preparation. So let's start with the tones of the passage, right? You can make up by these emojis the tones of the passage also, like is it a happy one, it's a sad one, it's an angry one. So as per the emojis in this digital world, we need to know the manner of speaking too, right? Let's start with the next. Now, what is the tone of the passage? The question naturally arises that what is the tone of the passage? So when we are doing this, we must not forget that tone of the passage represents the author's sentiments, author's feelings, or author's point of view towards the subject being discussed. Means what is the author's sentiments and feelings towards the subject, right? In other words, it's the predominant emotion the author displays towards the subject. What is author trying to say in this? Learning to identify tone will help you in multiple ways. It's clearly told that for CLAT preparation, you have to see clearly that tones play a pivotal role. Yes, it is the breadth of the passage. It is something which will make the passage more interesting and valuable. Answering the direct tone based questions as well as figuring out the implicit. See, explicit is the outer meaning and implicit is the implied meaning. The information that is there related to the inference and the passages. This makes the things interesting, and you keep knowing the attitude of the author, the point of view. You have to make it quite clear that it is the attitude of the author, it is the point of view of the author, and it is the perspective of the author. This author, who is the writer of the passage, expresses it in direct manner, not in direct form. You won't write a passage or you won't read a passage in this way where you will find that the author is very laudatory. You won't find this line. You have to infer the meaning as per your reading. So it's very important to understand that when you are doing this, you must understand the author's perspective related to the passage, right? So let's start with the things for today. Tones of the passage which play a pivotal role for our reading comprehension. Means, as I said, it's a very important thing, and by these gestures, by these body language, by these facial expressions, I'm trying to make it interesting for you students, trying to explain you the gist of the matter that you will understand the tones very much thoroughly. Okay. Now here begins the tones. Look at it. Have an idea related to these words. Now tones, I had given you all synonyms. No word left and no stone left unturned to understand the words. All synonyms have been covered. You will not even get them in dictionary or thesaurus. And not only that, you would understand the basic ideology behind these types of tones and what is the writer trying to say by these tones. Right, start with the first one, that is skeptical. Right, skeptical means writer is very doubtful, he is not sure, there is a doubt of disbelief, there is a doubt, there is a dubious attitude, there is a incredulous one. Now, just to give you an example, skeptical is uncertain, not sure. A simple word that I would use here is not sure. So in that case, when writer is not sure, he's doubtful, his disbelief is skeptical, writer's point of view and perspective would be such that he will express. For example, he would say that we have a line that I don't think India would make its progress in the coming times. It appears that India would be able to do the things or not. Will India be the India of the dreams that Gandhi had seen? This type of a question is naturally highly doubtful or disbelief. It's dubious, it's questioning, it is dubious in the sense of mistrust or suspicion, where there is disbelief and incredulous. Please note the root cred. The word cred means belief. I am giving you a lot many synonyms also to make this thing interesting. So it is a disbelief, it is something which is incredulous, it is something where you create a doubt about the things, that this thing is there or this thing is not there. So it is in means not. Oh, I'm so sorry here. In is not, and cred, not believable. So it simply means not believable, right? And I've given you a line also to explain you that what is the meaning of the word that is skeptical and how the tone would be asked in this. Now turning to the second word, that is incendiary. Right? Incendiary is something which is strong feelings of what? Likely to cause violence, or it is anger, it is something which is provocating. You've heard the idiom, add fuel to fire. Yes, it is more of seditious, arousing, stirring, controversial. Look at the word contentious, it's a strong argument. It is uprising, it is rebellious in nature. It is called the full word of English, coup de grace. Coup de grace is a sudden attack to overthrow the government. We also have the foreign word in this, or the word we have is riots, insurgents, or insurrection. So when you have an incendiary tone, you have a tone like this. Please note, when you are provoking the person to do something, you are adding fuel to fire. Right? That's an incendiary tone. Now, how do we add fuel to fire? What are we trying to say in this texture? Like, for example, the line of the passage says this, like we judge it, we take out an inference in this, that we are trying to say in this manner, that the writer says that there are we Indians have made the mincemeat of the Pakistanis in almost all wars, and Pakistan cannot do anything to India. And we have, although secular country, we have various things where Hindus do not like the Muslims. Now this is provoking. This is something which you are trying to say about the entire Muslim community, which is something not correct, and such kind of provoking attitude, and especially about sensitive matter like religion, shouldn't be done. And that tone is called incendiary. Right. Moving on to the third tone, that is rambling. Rambling tone here simply means are those tones where you are away from your track. Please see the synonyms. When the paragraphs are not connected, you're proceeding without a specific goal, purpose, or aim or direction. You don't aimless. In fact, you are aimless. Wandering, the word which we use for it. You are long-winged, you're garrulous, you're verbose. You can see the root verb means words. Garrulous, very talkative. You're wordy, you're prolific, you're roundabout, and you move away in a meandering form. This type of a tone is called rambling. Now, in this, when I'm talking about, maybe I'm talking of CLAT, and then I turn to symbiosis, and then I turn to medical field, and then I turn to G exam. What my tone is? Rambling. You know that rolling stone gathers no moss. So if you're moving here and there without any fixed way, and you are just misled or misguided, this kind of a tone would be rambling, right? The writer is moving away from his ideas, and his very roundabout manner of speaking, it is meandering attitude. right? Moving on, I'm giving examples simultaneously to explain you each tone. Then we turn to the tone introspective. You can see the root also, intro means internal, and spec is to see. So internal side, आप अंदर देखो. What do you say internal? You mean to say is you try to find out what drawbacks you have, how would you cover up those drawbacks, what are the issues that you face. This is called is introspective. The examination or a concern with one's own thoughts. आप अपनी internal state मतलब you're thinking that am I right? Should I do this? Is it right on my part to do this kind of a work? You think that will CLAT, you'll be able to clear CLAT. You're just meditating. You're just thinking, contemplating. The examination or a concern with one's own thoughts, only one's thoughts, not somebody else's. Internal state of feeling, motives, inward looking, self-examining, thoughtful, reflective, meditative, think over, contemplating, to muse on. We have the word muse on in the idiom chew the cud, and pensive. Now, your thoughts, you are so much lost in your thoughts, you are in a brown study, you are recollecting in a reverie form, collecting the past. This is introspective. आप अंदर झांक रहे हैं, जानने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आपके माइंड में क्या है. आप किससे बात कर रहे हैं? आप अपने आप से. जैसे सॉलिलिकी होती है, यू आर टॉकिंग टू सेल्फ. द राइटर वाज इंट्रोस्पेक्टिंग, थिंकिंग, should he do this work or not? This is introspection. You're thinking that what is my preparation, how much should I move on, what reading I've done and what more is to be done. This is called introspective, right? Moving on to passive. Passive is very quiet. You don't give any reaction. You just see the thing. You are more of a neutral point of view, right? Not commenting at all, accepting or allowing what happens or what others do without active response. Submissive, acquiescent, unassertive, non-resistant. You don't react, you don't say, you don't do anything. That kind of an attitude would be passive attitude. You don't give any reaction to anything. Right? In this, the person is not reacting or doing anything. So he's being very passive, calm and quiet, and he's not giving any response to anything. So जब आप comment नहीं कर रहे हैं, response नहीं दे रहे, responsive नहीं हो रहे हैं, बिल्कुल quiet है. Like, I know the condition of India is this, but I have nothing to say. No comments. Kind of an attitude, more it's not very commonly used one, kind of a neutral tone. So the first one is skeptical, second one is incendiary, third word is rambling, fourth tone is introspective, and fifth tone is passive. Let's move further. The next tone, speculative. It's very commonly used, the word speculative. The word speculative simply means is you are going into the matter and you're thinking and thinking. This is more of a reflective. The word exactly we use for this is reflective. इसके अंदर हम explanation देते हैं theories की. Explanation of the theories is given. It is revolving around hypothetical things, theoretical, academic, conjectural, putative, conceptual or conceptive or ideological. You think over the matter, you reflect, you ponder, you just think that where is our free India? Question mark. Are we really free? Man is free, but he is bound by chains. Where is our democracy? Democracy, no difference. Earlier, foreigners were ruling us, Britishers, and today the politicians are ruling us. So this kind of democratical. Why reservation? What for reservation? After so many years of independence, is it right on our part to talk of reservation where the things have turned totally upside down? What is the tone? Speculate. सोचिए क्या ये सही है इतने सालों बाद रिजर्वेशन. ऐसे एटीट्यूड को हम कहेंगे, ऐसी टोन को हम कहेंगे रिफ्लेक्टिव और स्पेक्यूलेटिव टोन. द राइटर इज थिंकिंग, पॉन्डरिंग, मेडिटेटिंग अबाउट व्हाट शुड बी द सिचुएशन. Right? Moving on to the next tone, that is euphemistic. EU root means good. So the word good so matters. Euphemistic means you make a disagreeable thing, disagreeable thing is made agreeable. Disagreeable को हम कैसा बना देते हैं? Agreeable, right? Making use of indirect and implicit statements. You're very polite, you're very softened, you are evasive, coded, substitute, figurative, and extenuative. You try to disagree with that any point of view. This type of tone will be called is euphemistic. You are appearing to be sweet, you are trying to add up the thing in a very sweet manner, not in the real sense. Right? Now, giving you an example for euphemistic tone. Look at it and tell me what would be the tone here for the word euphemistic. And very much important for you that write in the comment box here, do write up which tones you came across or your examples for the tone, so that we can have a healthy discussion, like I read this tone and this was the ideology, so that no tone is missed from your preparation and you feel that this was the tone and how did I come across this tone will be simple for you to understand and get the basic grasp, the basic meaning related to it. So moving on to the tone which is euphemistic, you talk in a sweet manner about a disagreeable thing. So for example, that he doesn't study, he is not a bibliophile, but he is somebody who is more of a practical person. He doesn't love books, but he only sees the covers of the books. So I'm being very sweet. Instead of saying that he is a duffer or he's a person who doesn't read, I'm trying to say that he's a person who is very polite and soft spoken about things. He doesn't talk negative about anything and he talks in a very sweet manner. So this type of a tone will be called euphemistic. Right? It's also a literary device, the word euphemistic. Moving on to apathetic. Apathetic means no reaction. A means not, path means feelings. कोई feelings नहीं होना, not having the feelings is called apathetic. इसमें कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, showing or feeling no interest, enthusiasm or concern, you're totally unconcerned, indifferent, stoic, please note the word, nonchalant and insouciant. They will help you out in synonyms also as well as tone. Impassive, detached, phlegmatic, indifferent, impassioned, and the words, which 3 words to highlight them, I've repeated them again. So when you are totally not concerned, matlab the attitude is let the things happen, go to hell, I am least bothered about it. So this type of a tone would be called insouciant. For example, the writer says that I pass or fail, it hardly matters to me. I did and I am least bothered about even seeing the result of my work. So this will be a apathetic tone, without any concern, without any feelings. This would be apathetic. Right? Moving on to apologetic or commiserate. Apology का मतलब है saying sorry. Simply saying sorry. Apology word से बना है, commiserating, expressing your sadness for something. You are expressing remorse, regret, sorrow for any catastrophes or past events. You are being repentant. What is repentant? Feeling sorry for your action, that is repentant. Penitent, contrite. Please note these 3 words, very, very important. You are sympathetic or wistful towards things. This is apology. Like you made a mistake and you're guilty for that, and you express to the other person that I accept that I did something wrong and I must improve myself and I'll do things in a better form and I will not let anything wrong happen. This type of a tone would be apologetic. Next is disparaging. What is disparaging? Disparaging is expressing the opinion that something is of little worth. कोई चीज़ की कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, वैल्यू लेस है, बी लिटल कर रहे हैं, डेनिग्रेट या डेरोगेट कर रहे हैं उस चीज़ को, मतलब नीचे कर रहे हैं, डाउनग्रेड कर रहे हैं, लोअर कर रहे हैं, यू आर रैंकिंग इट लोअर. डेप्रिकेट, डेप्रिशिएट वर्ड से ही depreciate, downgrade, deflate, trivialize. Trivial word means making less, underestimate, impinge, pull apart, pick holes in. अब ये काफ़ी हद तक मिलती है critical से, but इसमें और mainly critical में ये फ़र्क होता है कि in the disparaging tone you express something in a very lower form, make the thing in a very lower form. How we are talking of the lower form? Like we will say that India has made accomplishment, but after so many years of independence, if you talk of these accomplishments, they have no value after so many years. So you are talking in a tone which is disparaging, because you are expressing something in a more of a negative zone, in something where you are downgrading the value of something, right? Okay, let's move on further. So we have 6 tones: speculative, euphemistic, apathetic, apologetic, and disparaging. Next, move to this word. The word expository has many times been used in the CLAT paper too. It has been used very often, the word expository. So what is expository? Expose something, tell about something, or you explain or describe something in a more explicit, means in a very clear manner. You express something in a very clear manner. You indicate or elucidate something, illustrative, denoting or indicating about something is expository. जैसे आप किसी चीज़ का पूरी डिटेल्स बताते हैं, ब्रीफ सा डिटेल्ड इंट्रोडक्शन देते हैं, उसको कहा जाएगा the word expository. So when you have the word expository, you need not worry about it, because the word would be not very much details, but the basic ideology is explained. So the word is expository. Right, giving you an example, I tell you that bitcoins are the new currencies that are coming. It is something which is a cryptocurrency. They are coming into existence. Many people are moving towards this business and so on. But I never told you where to buy from. How many, where will you get it? How many, what would be the minimum investment you can do that? Is it safe to go into this business? I didn't give you the basic details about it. So this tone will be called as expository. Right, moving on to next tone, that is cynical. Now cynical का मतलब है pessimistic, trying to see the worst things about it, बिल्कुल negative zone में चीज़ों को देखना. cynical और critical में भी एक minute difference होता है स्टूडेंट, प्लीज़ ध्यान से सुनिए. cynical और critical में minute difference किस सेंस में कह रही हूँ मैं. cynical और critical में difference basically, वैसे तो आप देखेंगे अगर डिक्शनरी में तो दोनों ऑलमोस्ट सिनोनिम्स होते हैं, बट फ़र्क ये होता है कि cynical में बहुत ज़्यादा नेगेटिविज्म होता है. पर्सन का जो एटीट्यूड है वो ये होता है कि कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता, मतलब आप ये सोचो कि अब कुछ, मतलब इम्पॉसिबल वाला एटीट्यूड बोलता है पर्सन, नथिंग कैन हैपन. इस एटीट्यूड से पर्सन चीज़ों को लिखता है और इसको ही फॉलो करता है. उसका एटीट्यूड इस तरह का होगा जिसमें वो हर चीज़ को सी दी, टेंडिंग टू सी दी वर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ थिंग्स, सबको वर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट में देखें और बिलीव दैट द वर्स्ट विल हैपन, मूविंग टूवर्ड्स नेगेटिविज्म, नेगेटिविज्म की तरह मूव करें. सैड, पेसिमिज्म, मेलंकलिक, डेजोलेशन, लोनलीनेस, सैडनेस, ग्लूमी, डिप्रेस्ड, misery, doubting, despondency, low spirits, down in the dumps. आप इतने निराशावादी हो गए, इतने pessimistic हो गए कि आपको लग रहा है कुछ नहीं हो सकता. India cannot progress. India cannot do anything in spite of so many efforts of Modi. The economy is in recession. Do you think anything would happen in India? No way. कैसी टोन है ये? सिनिकल, बहुत ही ज़्यादा. पेसिमिस्टिक इसीलिए ओब्लिक करके दोनों वर्ड्स लिखे हैं, मतलब यू आर टोटली इन अ नेगेटिव जोन, नो रे ऑफ होप. समझिए आप, बिल्कुल आपको एकदम भी उम्मीद नहीं है. मैं हर में इसीलिए बार बार एग्जांपल दे रही हूँ कि आप ये समझिए कि इसमें अब कोई आशा की किरण दिख ही नहीं रही है कि कुछ हो सकता है. ठीक है, आगे लेते हैं. ऑप्टिमिस्टिक टोन. ऑप्टिमिस्टिक मीन्स होपफुल, रे ऑफ होप. You are hopeful and confident about the future, moving towards positivism, cheerful, cheery, confident, sanguine, favorable, auspicious, propitious, promising. Every cloud has a silver lining. India may have various problems. India may have economic recession. In spite of the efforts of Modi, we may have many problems. But ये जो ट्विस्टर मारा है, but India will surely become a developed nation very soon. You can see my tone, my attitude, my perspective. India, there's not, that day is not far away when we'll be standing in the front rank position of the world. And India's culture, India's assimilation, India's religion, India's heritage has something which has no comparison with anyone. India is and India will in the coming up time show that what it can do, and India, my motherland, would surely be among the front rank countries. क्या टोन है? ऑप्टिमिस्टिक, राइट बहुत होपफुल है, फुल ऑफ आइडियाज़ है, होप्स है, कहीं कोई पेसिमिज्म नहीं है, बहुत ही ज़्यादा पॉजिटिव और होपफुल मैनर में वो चीज़ों को बता रहा है, बहुत ही पर्सपेक्टिव उसका होपफुल है. दिस टाइप ऑफ टोन इज़ ऑप्टिमिस्टिक. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं. अक्यूजिंग. अक्यूजिंग मीन्स सिंपल वर्ड में कहें अक्यूजेशन, एक्यूज्ड मीन्स ब्लेम. अब देखिए ब्लेम ऐसी चीज़ है, आप ब्लेम लगा रहे हैं, कितना सही है कितना गलत है ये तो पता नहीं, बट यू आर ब्लेमिंग समथिंग, यू आर ब्लेमिंग पीपल, दैट इज कॉल्ड अक्यूजिंग. इंडिकेटिंग अ बिलीफ इन समवंस गिल्ट और कल्पेबिलिटी. कल्प रूट देखिए, कल्प रूट का मतलब होता है क्राइम. देखिए रूट्स इंग्लिश का एक इम्पॉर्टेंट बेसिक फाउंडेशन है. मेरे और वीडियोस में मैं आपको रूट्स के बारे में बताऊंगी और चीज़ों को एक्सप्लेन करूंगी. बट कल्प का मतलब जैसे कल्प्रिट, कल्पेबल, इनकल्पेबल, ये कई वर्ड्स बन रहे हैं और आप इससे डोंट बी अ कल्प्रिट टू मिस एनी रूट वर्ड ऑफ इंग्लिश. योर वोकैबुलरी फ्रेज एंड थिंग्स play the backbone role in English, right? So it's more of culpability or blaming someone, calling someone, you know, summons अपन कहते हैं, legal order, आपको कोर्ट में हाजिर होना है, you are charged for something, you are, you know, charged with any crime, you are implicated. impeachment word आपने सुना होगा लीगल टर्म्स में. slander, कोई तरह की गॉसिप होना, कोई तरह का डिफेमेशन टाइप होना. inculpate, आपने अभी कल्प्रूट किया था, क्या था? क्राइम. और ब्लो द विसल्स ऑन, इस ईडियम को ध्यान से देखिए. ब्लो द विसल्स ऑन मतलब कि आपने विसल बजा दी है, आपने किसी को आरोपित कर दिया है, आपने बता दिया है कि दिस पर्सन इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर थिंग्स, दिस पर्सन हैज़ डन समथिंग रॉन्ग. इसको कहेंगे अक्यूजिंग, मेकिंग पर्सन रियलाइज दैट दिस पर्सन इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर इट. अब लेते हैं हम अपनी टोन ग्रैंडियोस. आपको पता ही है ग्रैंडियोस वर्ड ग्रैंड से बना है, बहुत भव्य. कई बार इसको हम ग्रैंडिलोक्वेंट भी कहते हैं. एलोक्यू का मतलब स्पीच, ग्रैंडिलोक्वेंट तो मतलब बहुत भव्य, बहुत बढ़ा चढ़ा के कोई चीज़ को बताना, इसको कहेंगे ग्रैंडिलोक्वेंट. अब कोई चीज़ जब आप बहुत ही ज़्यादा लेना, आपने शशि थरूर सबने सुना होगा, बात की होगी, या मतलब उसकी डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज या फिल्म्स देखी होंगी. द लैंग्वेज इज सच अ हाई वन, यू हैव टू रीड बिटवीन द लाइन्स टू अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग, दैट इज कॉल्ड grandiose. When your style is very grand and great, you're expressing things in a very very high level, you are being impressive, you are imposing an appearance of style. मतलब आपकी मैनर, आपकी ऑरा, आपकी मतलब स्टाइल, बॉडी लैंग्वेज परफेक्शन में होती है. मतलब ये हर कोई नहीं कर सकता. एक विटी स्कॉलर, एक बहुत ही नॉलेजेबल पर्सन कर सकता है. मैग्निफिसेंट, एव इंस्पायरिंग. व्हाट इज ए? इज फियर. बोलते हुए, बात करते हुए आपको डर लगता है. वाई? क्योंकि आगे वाला पर्सन बहुत ही नॉलेजेबल है. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एव इंस्पायरिंग. वेरी स्प्लेंडेड, majestic, glorious, flamboyant or over the top. You're making things in a very high level. Now Shashi Tharoor's language is more of a floral, grandiloquent, grandiose, using high flown vocabulary. Language is such where you have to open the dictionary. Like even Francis Bacon, you must have heard of, the father of English, who used to write in the same manner. It is also called epigrammatic or aphoristic. Epigrammatic and aphoristic both also mean in a very high flown manner. So students, your work with these 15 tones, I'll be coming up with more tones in the coming up videos. Your work for today is you're going to read these tones, give your examples and write in the chat box in the comment section which are the tones you came across in the passages, and in these tones you could make up an example, also send, so that we could cross check and refer to it. Right students, please mark it and do that. Okay, I'll wait for your comments in the chat box. For today, thank you.